Welcome back to episode 5 of the Never Lose Again series. We're going to be covering Fulghor today. The rest of the videos aren't going to take as long as I did for Libra because this time I don't need to record the same fight 30 different times. Anyways, I deeply appreciate how well that video is being received, so thank you all so much for the support. Just like Libra, balancers will have separate sections for both base and Everdark. Shortly after publishing the Libra guide, I made a post of a tier list of how the Nightfarers performed in Deep of Night trios. I do plan on making a tier list video soon, so feel free to dump all your hot takes and opinions on that post, so that I at least approach it more informed. As always, enjoy the video. Starting off with this move, he likes to start nearly every fight with it. It's when he jumps up high in the air and comes crashing down, spreading his sludge everywhere out wide. You'll know when he's doing it when you see him sort of being dragged forward by the arm like it's out of his control. All you want to do is jump when he's about to land. This can be done anywhere other than directly underneath it. This move is also one of the few moves with a big punish window where you can use skills or spells with long windups. When up close, he loves spamming the stomp, especially in his Everdark Phase. From anywhere around him, you can jump, but if you are directly in front of him at his legs, I recommend dodging for all characters. This is because the attack comes in at a dead angle in that position. What that means is if you are playing Guardian, the move will hit you as if it's completely ignoring the existence of your shield. This is the same with Executor, where it'll ignore your parry. When Fulghor raises his arm slightly in a way that the arm arches over his body like so, he's going to slam it onto the ground and then swing sludge in your direction. Jump the slam and then dodge into him. His front legs is a blind spot on the swing. I do not recommend being in front of him when he does this because the sludge can still hit you even if you jump. And if you're too close to him, like at his front legs, you'll get hit by the arm itself as it's coming down. Base Fulghor has 4 melee pull blade attacks, 2 are slashes, 1 is a forward poke, and the last one is where he's dragging it across the ground. For the slashes, you always want to create space first by moving backwards and to the left, then roll the slash. For the other slash that's not shown here and the drag, there are specific places relative to Fulghor's position that you should be rolling to. I'll get into the specifics once we get to those moves. For this slash, however, he'll always follow it up into a dust wave. I like to call this his special stance, where he's charging pole blades to spike out of the ground. Of course, if you've got lightning, you can break him out of it. You can also break him out of it if you can deal enough stance damage in time, like with a damaging ultimate. Here, I've got Dragon's Maw just for that, though he'll still end up releasing small spears out of the ground. When the arm drags him out to his left, he's going to release a deadly combo on you. For this sequence, you want to first start off by dodging forward towards his left armpit. Then you want to strafe and dodge up and right with each sweep of the combo. The reason you do this is because the sludge of the last sweep, if you happen to get hit by it, combos you into the slam he does at the end of the combo. Just these two hits are enough to one-shot any Nightfarer on D5. The sludge removes your successive, uplifting, and damage at full, and the slam is strong enough to eat through the damage negation you built up with damage on damage from the first hit. Run too close to him and you risk getting hit by the arm and its sludge. There exists methods that involve running away from Fulghor. I do not recommend them, and I'll explain why later when the reasoning becomes significant. Again, just like the other slam move, I don't recommend standing in front of him for the same reasons. This is also the other move where the punish window is quite big. If you've got any skills or spells that quickly shift your hitbox into the air, like Blade of Death, you can use it in place of the jump as the skill functions the same way on its activation. Here is the second pole blade slash attack. You'll know it when you see him tread forward and raise his pole blade into the air as he's turning his body. There are two ways to dodge this. One is similar to the other pole blade attack that I showed you previously, and you want to default to this option. The other is dodging forward, aiming for his left side, and I only recommend doing this if you're very close to him. Players who default for the latter option will sometimes get caught by the attack because they weren't close enough. And as a result, they end up getting dragged by Fulghor's body as he's lunging forward. So even if they time the roll correctly, they will still get hit by the attack. A crucial situation you need to know how to deal with is how to fight Fulghor without being able to break him out of his stance. For me, I don't have enough FP for another Dragon's Maw. This could be the case for you in trios because maybe the only one who has lightning is on the ground too busy munching on sand. When he strikes the pole blade into the ground, there is still a hitbox that emerges out of it. So just make sure you aren't standing close and directly in front of it. The timing of the dodge comes from right after his pole blade touches the ground, not when it's about to collide with the ground. It will just end up catching your roll. On the poke, you can simply dodge in any direction. If you struggle with doing that, there is a blind spot that's right at his front legs. You don't even need to dodge into this blind spot, you can just walk into it. Pick whichever way suits you best. And I think you can see why I don't recommend running away from this move. When you dodge right and forward, you can at least see where you are dodging so the area becomes scouted. When you run away, you're just praying that you don't end up running into a straight pole blade. You can, of course, use this method if there are none coming out of the ground. When the arm reaches out to the side and not dragging Fulghor this time, it's going to slide across the ground in front of him. You want to watch the arm carefully and dodge forward as it approaches you. Just like before, you want to aim your dodge at the armpit. When Fulghor raises the arm and turns around, he's only just going to swing the sludge at you. Again, you want to dodge forward and his front legs are a blind spot. Finally, we've got this little stampede he does before charging across the map. There are two ways to dodge this, and I'll show you both in this fight. It's up to preference which one you go for. One allows for a free punish but is not safe to do with pole blades spiking out of the ground. The other does not allow a free punish, but it is safe to perform in all situations. For this first method, we are going to dodge and run to the right on each charge and turn. You want to time your dodge earlier than you think because the hitbox on the charge doesn't extend out wide very much, but instead extends very far out forward. For the final fissures, you can just run backwards away from him and you'll be completely out of range of it. For the 3 Dust Wave combo, there are methods that involve running around Fulghor when up close instead of dodging, but you'd be surprised to see how generous From Software is when it comes to timing the dodges on each Dust Wave. The hitboxes are very small and they go past you very quickly. Fulghor is always going to start off his Everdark Phase with Rain of Arrows. I would advise not running away, but staying close and just running to either side of it. Normal sprinting works too. I recommend staying close because he likes to always go for an attack straight after releasing the arrows. So right after you dodge the first attack, you can quickly run around the arrows before a second attack comes out. Here's the second method for evading the sequence that grants a punish by the end of it. On each charge and turn, you want to just run left and backwards. This will put you really close to him on his final fissures. And what I meant by free punish is any ranged skill you may have on you. This combo is really easy to dodge, but on trios it can be dangerous because it's another Everdark Tricephalos situation where the timing of the dodge on an attack when it's targeted towards someone else will feel awkward. You'll know this combo is targeting you when he moves directly away from you with his front legs up and pointed to the left like so. If it's not on you, I recommend just running away. If it is, though, you can dodge in any direction on the sweeps. I find it works best for me to dodge to the right. When he thrusts his pole blade into the ground after jumping, you will have to roll this too, as this is another dead angle. The punish window on this combo is big enough to use a charged attack or any quick skill or spell. Here is the drag that we've been waiting for. If close enough, you can dodge forward to his left side, but then again, I don't recommend defaulting to this since you can get dragged by Fulghor's body if you weren't close enough. In this circumstance, I am not close enough, so I will not be using that option. Instead, what we want to do is first create some distance by moving back and right. Then as he shoves his pole blade into the ground, we are going to dodge forward, aiming for his armpit. This is the blind spot for this move. On this move, you can dodge in any direction for the first attack. On the second, I advise aiming for his hind legs on his right side. You don't necessarily have to roll the second attack, but I do it anyway because there have been times where I've been unexpectedly clipped by the end of the move. Once Fulghor reaches around 40% of his HP, he is scripted to launch the nuke. What you want to do is just surge sprint in one direction. Take your camera off of him if it helps. If you're afraid of hitting a border, because that's how most people get killed by this move, is you just run towards it. The nuke lands directly in front of Fulghor and he himself is out of the range of it. So it doesn't matter where you are on the map, you run towards him and you'll always emerge out in one piece. This is also the best way to evade the nuke since it also offers a massive punish window. Along with each nuke, he's scripted to eventually do this pole blade combo before going for another nuke. If you're close, it's really easy to dodge this. The method involves positioning yourself behind Fulghor. A lot of people rely on unlocking the camera in order to do this. I actually advise against doing this because the results aren't precise. You will think that you're in position and suddenly get hit, because you couldn't time the dodge with the second slash. We're going to keep things nice and simple. So firstly, we're going to keep our camera locked on so our results become more precise and consistent. Fulghor strafes to your left when he's about to unleash the combo, so we are going to run to the right. This will put us at his right hind leg. The second hit of the combo covers his left side, so it'll just go straight over you. After that, just run away so the third slash doesn't catch you. Continue running away for the second flurry and dodge forward for the final attack because it does reach out forward quite far. In the example, I rolled on the second hit because that's how I used to evade this combo, but looking back at the footage, I actually never needed to. However, if he happens to launch this combo right after Rain of Arrows, you will need to roll that second hit if you don't make it to his right hind leg. If you are up close on the dust waves, you can hug his right side on the second and third one. For the third one, it will require a bit of precise camera movement to not get clipped, so I usually find dodging to be more consistent. Throughout the entire fight, you must stay focused. These arrows that he can shoot out randomly are very quick and can catch anyone sleeping. When you're very far away, you can run to the side. The arrow will just fly straight past you. But if you're close or at a moderate distance, you need to roll. Characters with shorter iframes on their dodge may struggle to dodge this move since the timing is quite tight. If you time your roll to when you think the arrow will come out, the impact of the arrow will clip the end of your roll. What I want you to do is time your roll the moment you see the bow flash really brightly like you see here. Now that you know how to fight Fulghor, I'm now going to show you how to aura farm. Proceed at your own risk. You're about to see why I brought Duchess as our tour guide instead of Wilder. Firstly, you always want to strafe and dodge back and left throughout the entire combo. For the first flurry, you dodge on the first, second, fourth, and fifth slash. For the second, you only need to dodge the first two. If you're too close or too far, you always want to dodge directly left rather than dodging left and back. After the next nuke, you will see a good example of when this is applied when I decide to dodge right on the fourth and fifth slashes of the first flurry. There is one move I didn't show in that example. It's what he tends to do if you're very far away from him after the nuke. This could be because you were in the middle of reviving a teammate. All you want to do is just dodge when he's about to land on top of you. It's another dead angle. You can jump, but since he's right above you, it's going to mess with your camera a bit. Well done for reaching the end of the guide. If you thought fighting Fulghor with Duchess looked cool, wait until you see Executor. Here you will also see me applying my knowledge of the dead angles in this fight. Enjoy!